Dudes will see this and just think, hell yeah.
Sweet girl, come here, hey. Up. Haven't shown off the dogs in a while. Look at my grumpy boy. Look at my grumpy boy. High five. Good boy. I've been pretty occupied lately, but I've really been bothered that I haven't worked on the IS300 Sportcross build. So today we're gonna go ahead and resume. Now that I actually have some lift space, it's been amazing. We relocated the Mustang because we're not gonna finish that for a while. We're waiting for parts for the BMW, waiting for it to be finished. And I have lift space, and I just really wanna work on this car. Been driving around a little bit, I'm like, it needs to be manual, it needs to be NAT, and it needs to have the body kit on it. So, I'm gonna test out the body kit that I got from Mother Russia today. Also, we got numbered and signed posters live on the site right now. If you guys want a poster of my E46 before it was at its second phase. And then we've also got some Band-Aid boo-boos. So if you guys have any boo-boos on your car, check them out. We got those live at 53supply.com right now. One of the things I've learned being a car guy is I never want to leave the house without something to air up or check tire pressure. Today we've got Yantu's portable tire inflator right here. A lot of tire inflators don't go up to certain tire pressure. Like some trailers require like 55, maybe 60 PSI in the tires. Some tire inflators only go up so high. This one goes up to, what do we say, babe?
I think it's at 100 for bikes.
So we're gonna test her out right now. I want to show you guys this. So you don't have to screw anything on, which is really cool. I've never seen this particularly before, but you slide it on and then you clamp it. And as soon as you do that, turn that baby on. We're gonna check how much pressure is in my Cerberus right here.
36.
So we got 36 PSI.
That's really cool.
So if I want to go up to, let's do 41 and a half. I'm gonna pause it there. 37 and a half is enough. That's awesome. I have an Amazon link for you guys to use. 20% off. I'm gonna keep this thing in the trailer. These things at the track are a lifesaver. So if you do me a favor, check the link that I have for you in the description. Go check out the Yantu portable tire inflator. It works for your bikes, your cars, your trucks, your trailers, you name it. Even a football. You wanna air up your football or your soccer ball? Be my guest. Thanks to Yantu for sponsoring. Go check this thing out. On my red IS300 sedan, I had the HKS body kit. You guys may or may not know, but they never made any body kits for the Sportcross. Really, the Sportcross only ever got a couple lip kits here and there, one off. So I had to custom order this from Russia. It's from EKB. To refresh your memory, we're taking everything that was good about the red IS300 that we burned, and we're moving it over to a Sportcross because I love wagons, because wagons are the best. We moved the HKS kit over, but because the Sportcross is a little bit different, you can't use the rear bumpers. The rear end of this car doesn't look terrible. It's not like bad or anything. It's just kind of boring. And I am gonna change that today. So also we really need an exhaust, but I hate two JZs without a turbo. I don't know if you guys have ever heard a JZ with like a straight piped. It's bad. It doesn't sound good. We're gonna work on that pretty soon, but we're gonna take the rear bumper off and test fit this guy. Now, as you guys will see, it's sawn in half because Russia is, I don't know if you guys have lived in Iraq, but a couple conflicts going on over there right now, and shipping is a little weird. I wanna test fit it and see what it looks like first, and then we can get it painted. The whole car is going in for repaint at Delira, but first we've gotta do the R34 and also some BMW stuff. So I'm just gonna get it on the car, and it's gonna be like 3 colors for a little while. So let's open up the bumper, boys. It's nice, okay. Oh yeah, that's Russian. Привет, добрый день, господа. I don't know. They take care of it. It's sawn in half, but at least it's not going to show up broken because of all the cardboard, so spasiba. Oh, this stuff works really well, but it's nasty. So here's the backing plate. They mold this so that you can bolt it together and have as clean of a seam as possible. There we go.
Gets all the way here and then it breaks immediately.
Yeah, when you put it in a freaking Russian gulag, it, you know, something might tear. This thing's crazy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a huge crack.
That's fine. Jose, fix it. Dudes will see this and just think, hell yeah. Can I see the little binding piece?
Oh, I see what it does.
So it
Okay.
does it in the back. It's like this. And then you literally, it has holes for you to either use self-tappers or something. And then, well.
There's a reason why Jose does this.
I love the HKS bumper just because it has, you know, HKS on it. Now, let's talk about this for a second. I know that, first off, HKS is a very rare body kit. I think it's probably one of the rarest ones one of the rarest desirable ones for the Altezza IS body style. They didn't make very many of them, and they also stopped making them a long time ago. And so I want to say something about like the whole replica thing real quick. For me, being in the industry for a long time, listen guys, if a company no longer makes something, or is no longer producing something, it doesn't matter if somebody's making a replica of it because you're not benefiting the company anymore by buying that OG product that was made 25 years ago. Hate me if you want, you can go take a basic economics class and change your mind real quick. It just is what it is. These guys started producing these again because they were impossible to find, so instead of paying some dude that lives in his mom's house $17,000 for a bumper that's been repainted 17 times, you could just get one, and of course they're cut in half now because of the whole Russia thing, but you can get, you know, one that's a replica and it looks just as nice, especially if you're gonna drive it like me. You don't wanna destroy a super rare body kit because these, for the sedans, the HKS kit is very expensive for the people that still have them. But they're also really cool because they're not BN. And as much as I love BN, everybody does that for their car, and I'm tired of it. So the HKS is cool, it's unique, and it's just really sleek and stylish without being like, without having the overly aggressive, you know, late 80s, early 90s sort of style. So I'm amped about this. Kind of test it on real quick, show you guys. This is my my bumper from Russia, and of course, not even to say they didn't make this for the wagon. HKS never made a kit for the wagon, so you can't. There is no genuine, you know, HKS to get. So you got to exercise. So big thanks to EKB for making these. It's pretty sick. Yeah, let's go ahead and just toss it on there real quick. I gotta get this bumper off, and we'll get it on. Was worse for wear. They already need to get repainted and stuff anyways, but it's just not nice, you know? We're gonna make it nice. So when I used all three of my brain cells, I realized that the piece was on the outside, which actually works, I think, better than the kit that I got for the BMW, because when you have a support brace for the inside, then that means you have to actually body work and bulge more of the outer part. And so this actually makes a lot of sense. I'm just gonna do this for now to keep it together. As you can see, it creates sort of a way to bind the body kit together temporarily so you can fiberglass the back, then remove this, and then do the rest. These are temporary, obviously, until you onto it. Just want to make that very clear. Perfect. Look at that. That's wild.
That's really cool.
Lines up on the money. Voila. I don't ever know how people make this look good.
There you go.
Oh, outside arm down, inside arm up.
Yeah.
Not like that.
No.
So I did actually need to go put pretty much all those self-tappers in. It does actually have some weird little goofy looking thingy, but
Sideways.
it's because
Unless the lighting's
it's
playing
bent
with me.
here and it's bent there, so it's flexed in, and it's just, yeah, it's weird. So it's bending out right here because there's a lot of pressure point pulling it out.
Oh,
so
okay.
if I loosened it, this would probably come out, that would go in, but it's not a big deal. We're gonna leave that one to Jose. I'm about to paint the taillights as well. I've been torn between whether I want to do clear tails, leave them stock, or do a candy cane sort of look like S13s, SC300s where it's red on top, white on the bottom. I think I'm gonna do that right now because that'll complement the look really nicely, and I think it'll look pretty unique and super cool. Bumpers on, not really gonna do anything else. I'm gonna let Jose do all the fancy stuff. Actually, I like the curvature on this one better as the Sportcross because it's wider. And I feel like it like dips in or pulls out, dips in more around the exhaust. And I actually do think the exhaust might be pushing it out a little bit. That might be a thing too. I'm pretty amped about this. I think that was the move.
I was just about to say that.
Looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to wet sand one more time, and then I will clear coat them so they look even better. But I definitely think this was the best idea for this car. Now I gotta do the freaking inside ones because those are rough. So I forgot to end this video, but the taillights turned out amazing and the rear end looks super cool. The IS is about to go under a big overhaul because I'm planning on doing to this car what I should have done, obviously, to the sedan. The sedan's also gone, got rid of that finally. We're gonna start the NAT build here pretty soon. I know I've kind of waited a little while. I've been indecisive on exactly what I wanna do with the IS. Now that I've kind of gotten some parts out of the way, sold some stuff around the shop, I am definitely gonna pull the trigger on getting this car manual swapped and done now. So it's on the lift, it's ready to go. I've been cleaning the shop, currently finishing the supercharger on my other wagon right now, but this wagon is gonna be the boosted 2JZ goodness wagon, and the other wagon is gonna be the supercharged, terrible BMW noises goodness car as well. But man, guys, I just want to tell you that for my daily advice, the hard days matter just as much as the good ones. In fact, I think actually the hard days matter more than the good ones. You learn more in the days that are difficult and the times in life where it's rough and you feel like you've hit rock bottom, and you give yourself no other option but to work hard and really solidify who you are, what you love, and what you want to do. That's really what defines you. It's hard to rejoice in the hard days, but you got to understand that those are the days that are making you who you are and forming you and sculpting you. And those are going to keep happening throughout your life. So if you're 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever, however old you are, things are always going to change. You're always going to go through hills and valleys, and I want you to know that. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.